Hello, my name is Derryll Wristpus, and I know that there are a lot of conversations, concerns, people just wondering what direction relationships are headed in, especially black relationships, what direction they're headed in. And so I had a chance to sit down with a young lady, Nicole, and just answer a couple questions. We had a very laid back conversation, and this is a snippet of that. I hope you enjoy it. I know we're at a time where a lot of women, especially black women, are frustrated. They're frustrated. Some of them have even said they're confused. Some of them have even said they're at their wits' end because they just don't know what the problem is. Either they can't find someone to date that they're even interested in dating. When they meet that person, a lot of times it never turns into a second date. And if it does turn to a second date, things get physical either too soon. And if they get physical too soon, it ends quickly. And even in the cases where women find a guy and things seem to be going wrong really well, the second date, the third date, it seems to turn to a thing. It seems to just either die or things slowly go downhill, right? And so what I wanted to do is just have a conversation with some women, females, some sisters, to find out if you have any questions, what's going on, and see if we can get down to the bottom of some of the issues that are going on. So if you have any questions.
Well, thank you for inviting me here, first of all. And my first question is, basically, I have noticed with black men, dating black men, that, I've heard this as well too, and I've heard some black men say this, that they do prefer dating lighter skinned women over brown and dark skinned women, and sometimes the darker skinned women feel kind of like left out, or you see that more of those women are, more single than the lighter skinned sister or the mixed sister. Is that true? Do you really feel like that a lighter skinned woman is more of a trophy than a darker skinned woman? Are black men physically more attracted to the lighter skinned woman? And if they are, why is that?
That is actually not true.
Okay.
Not in general. That's not true. What I would say is it depends on the man. A lot of the questions that black women have about black men, those answers depend on the man. And it seems like there's a lot of overgeneralizing going on, because I know brothers who want sisters as dark as he can get them. You know what I mean? And then there are some guys that say they do prefer lighter complected women, and then there's some guys who will say, I like more exotic looking women, like women from the Caribbean or something. They like women who look different. It depends on the man. It depends on a lot of things. It also depends on how he was raised. It depends on his relationship with his mother, and not just his mother, but the other women in the family. Right? So you could have a guy who grew up in a family, nothing but black women, right? And there are no successful marriages in that family. There's no successful relationships in that family. And the relationships that he did see, he saw the women in his family like losing their minds over the men, like really going off on the man, talking bad about him, talking him down, disrespecting him, or this is what he saw, right? And the relationship ends. And so he may have seen it where his mother pretty much, even if it was out of pain, because of what his dad did to his mother, now she's talking bad about his father in front of him, and sometimes even to him. And so you get that same guy, he becomes a teenager and an adult. I've seen some of these guys end up in relationships with women of other races because from his experience, what he's seen and experienced, what he's heard, is black women in his family constantly talking bad about or talking bad about the men in their lives, or either talking bad about them or just treating them bad, right? Or using them. I've heard that too. You know, I have heard grandmothers say things to their daughters or their granddaughters, you know, you better get that man and have that money, right? So you sitting these young sisters out there with a certain mindset, and again, that's not totally their fault either. So for the man and for the woman, it goes back to, you know, how were they raised? Who were they closer to, their mother, their father? What was that relationship like? What were the details of that relationship? And so, and I'm not giving any reasons, any excuses. These are reasons. These are things that I've heard. These are things that I've seen. Dudes that I grew up with. And I've noticed, whoa, where'd that come from? Men in my family. You know, so I would say it's not all men. Anytime you say that, you're setting yourself up. Okay. It's not all men. There are some men who prefer white women. There are some men who prefer women a certain complexion, a certain build, a certain, I haven't really heard height come into play too much, but a certain build, you know, just have a certain look.
Is it true for you, is it a stereotype that black women for black men are maybe too strong, maybe, you know, just won't be submissive? Is that something that kind of make you, you know, stay away from, you know, trying to date black women? Is that something that you've heard before or have you dealt with personally? That sometimes black women can mouth off a little bit too much, you know, they don't listen, you know, they want to control everything in the household, they won't let you be a man. Is that something that you've dealt with personally in the household?
Personally?
Or a friend, or, you know, your guy friends or a family member? Personally,
yes, I have dealt with that. But I didn't view it as a knock towards black women.
Okay.
I never viewed it that way. I thought it was her. But I have heard, you know, other men, I've heard brothers say stuff like that. But see, I think there's reasons for some of that as well. Again, if you have a sister who grew up in a household where the father wasn't around, right? There was no father in the home. You have feminine energy and you have masculine energy, right? Masculine energy wants to take control of things. Wants to know what's going on, how can I get this done, figure out how to get it done, get it done. That's what men do. We're fixers. We want to fix things, make things better. We want to control things, right? That's part, I'll just leave it there for the sake of this question, but that's part of masculine energy. Feminine energy really don't give a damn about any of that. It just wants to be free. That's feminine energy. It just wants to be free. Right? It just wants to love and be a nurturer, be that caregiver. That's part of feminine energy, right? But when you have a woman in a household and the man is not there, and she has 2 kids in the house, she may be in her feminine, but then she's going to feel like I need to control some things. I need to get some things done, right? And this isn't like just a sex thing. This is an energy thing. Masculine, feminine energy. Well, in order for her to take on that role, she has to tap into her masculine, because we all have some masculine and feminine energy. You just, men want to live in their masculine and women want to live in their feminine. You're going to use both, but it's like, where do you live? Where are you most of the time, right? There are women who will use some of their masculine energy to control things, to be that disciplinarian, to get things done and make things happen and go, right? So what happens is, if you go there and you stay there too long, you can get stuck, right? So when there's no man in the home and that woman has to take on that masculine energy, and she stays there for so long, especially if she's not in a relationship, or she's bounced from relationship to relationship, so she has to stay in this masculine energy to get things done. She leaves the house, goes to corporate America, and God forbid if she has an executive position.
Exactly.
She's actually over men. She's not just over women, she's actually over men as well. She's tapping into her masculine to get a lot of that done all day long. Well, then she comes home. And she has to do the same thing when the kids are acting up and she has to get things done at home. She's still tapping into her masculine. So she stays there for so long that she gets stuck. Well, then she meets a guy. Right? He comes into the picture and he's, I met this sister, boom, 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 boom. And he meets her and everything seems cool. Then all of a sudden, he realizes that she's, like what you're describing. That can be a bit much for a brother to handle, especially if he didn't grow up in that type of environment. Right? Now, if you have a guy that did grow up in that type of environment where his father wasn't in the home.
Right. It'd be easier for him.
And his mother was that woman. He would probably handle that better if he didn't get in a mindset that this is how women are supposed to be, right? Because if you meet a woman who's in her masculine, that's all you grew up seeing was your mom being in her masculine 95% of the time, you're gonna think, okay, this is cool. My woman, she gets things done. She's a hustler. She's a boss. She's doing all this stuff. Okay, she got it going on. This is cool, right? But then when you want her to be vulnerable and be feminine and just, do this stuff that you want her to do, whatever your version of femininity is, you want her to do that and she's not doing it, there's going to be a clash. Because you want to have polarity. Polarity is that masculine and that feminine energy goes in different directions, right? Causes that friction. And that's where we get, the fire, right? When you don't have that, that's where you'll miss that spark. You might be okay with that for a while, especially if he's physically attracted to her.
Right.
But over time, especially if an argument, a disagreement take place, what do you think she's going to be? You think she's going to be in her masculine? You think she's going to be in her feminine?
Definitely in the masculine.
She's going to be in her masculine. So now you basically got two people in their masculine. You know how that's going to end.
Right.
Because what people have to understand is that if you go at a man in your masculine and he's in his masculine, how do you think he's going to deal with you?
Like a man.
Like a man.
Definitely. Definitely.
Now, if he grew up and he's stuck in his feminine, like he's more, laid back and he don't want no problems and he's all like this and she's like this, I mean, we know how that's going to turn out too. They might actually get along better.
Right.
Because they've switched. She's in her masculine, he's in his feminine. But then after a while, he's going to get on her nerves. Because no matter what she says, she wants to be in her feminine.
Right. And I think women do.
Right.
I think a lot of times that women are forced to be in there, deal with their masculine energy, and a lot of women are frustrated because like don't want to be there anymore. But the problem is, you know, it's not just a problem in the city of Atlanta, of course, where we are, but just, you know, pretty much everywhere women are having trouble finding the right person in their life, the right spouse or mate, whatever. Why do you think that is right now in this day and age?
I think a lot of people need to scrap the whole game plan of finding somebody to be with. Like they need to just scrap the whole thing. Because you talk to most people, I've heard people talk about, oh, I met this guy and oh, he's so sweet, he's nice and he's sweet, and you know, his favorite color is red and my favorite color is red, and you know, he loves neo soul music and I love neo soul music, and you know, he stays up late, I love to stay up late, and they think they're a match made in heaven for some reason. And that's not gonna get you by. That's temporary. I think when you go on a date with someone, or when you go to meet someone and you want to go on a date, there should be a certain set of questions that you should have lined up that you know you want to ask. So it'll help you really get to know who that person is. Human needs psychology, we have basic human needs. And I'm going to go through these quickly, so if you have any questions, just let me know. One of the first needs, and we all have these needs, and we all meet these needs every day. We just don't realize we're doing it, right? So the first need is for significance. It's the need to feel special, needed, wanted, and worthy of attention, right? And the second need is for certainty. It's to have routine in our life, to feel comfortable, to feel safe, to know that we're going to have a roof over our heads and our bills are going to be paid, that we're going to have something to eat, right? She's shaking her head because
that's huge.
Huge for a sister.
That's huge.
Huge for women.
For women in general, I believe.
Huge
Yeah.
for women.
Yeah.
In general.
I feel like that's almost number one.
Right. The third need for uncertainty is to have spontaneity, to have that wild side, something wild or something crazy, something unexpected going on, to get that rush. Or variety is just to have something different, to not have routine going on all the time, just to do something different. The next need is for love. Everybody wants to be loved, and everybody needs human connection. So that next need is for love and connection, right? The next need is for growth. Everything in the universe is either growing or it's dying. There's nothing that stays the same. The next need is going to be for contribution, and contribution is to give something to something greater than yourself. Like we all have that in us.
Right.
We all have that charity. That's something that we want to do. Like if we could start our own charity, you know what it would be for. And so we have these needs. And we're meeting these needs every day, whether we, realize it or not. Like the need for significance. If I asked you to tell me something that either you do or that you want done that makes you feel special, makes you feel needed, or wanted, or even worthy of attention, on a regular basis, what would one thing be?
I just think just some type of acknowledgement, maybe just saying a thank you, or just showing some type of appreciation for even like the smallest thing. I think a lot of times that in certain relationships, people feel like you have to do certain things, and just to say, oh, thank you for that, you know, I appreciate you, or I'm so happy to see you today, or, you know, just to take out that time just to spend just a little time, you know, with you if you're a busy person. I mean, just the smallest things. It's not anything monetary. It's just appreciation that you're just there. Awareness. Let me take time out.
Right. And when you say take time out, what does that look like, or what is that?
I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, in relationships.
Like, give me an example. No, you. Give me an example for you.
Me?
Like, when you say take time out, doing what? Showing, acknowledging you for what? Give me an example.
An example for me would be I cook every day, or I clean every day. I make sure that things are in order. Maybe saying, okay, well, I noticed that you do this on a day-to-day. Sit down. You take a break. Go do something that you enjoy. Let me take care of this. That can be showing, you know, just acknowledging me, or just showing that attention.
Okay, and so this is what would happen. We would go on a date, and we're just having a conversation, and I would just ask you something like, so, you know, if you, how do you like to feel? Tell me something that would make you feel, what makes you feel special? Like, what makes you feel like someone needs you or wants you around, or that you feel worthy of attention? And you give me that example, right? That is meeting that need for significance. Like all the code words that I heard you say, you said giving time, acknowledgement, cooking. Like, these are all code words. Like, when you listen to a person talk, they're basically telling you without realizing it how they meet that need for significance. So when you say, oh, I just want to be acknowledged, you know, I'd like to, you know, just to have that time, you know, spend some time, that time. And see, what most people do, they take that, run with it. Oh, the time. Oh, she just wants somebody to spend some time with her. You know, she just want to be acknowledged. Thank you. And they think that's it. But that's not where you need to stop. You need to know, what does it look like? What does it sound like? Give me an example. And so you say, oh, well, you know, if I'm cooking, you know, I'll, acknowledge the fact that, you know, I'm cooking every day, or you know, or spend some time with me. Okay, spend some time doing what? Oh, well, you know, just even if it's once a week, you know, going to the park, going for a walk, or even if you just walk by me, you know, give me a kiss on the back of the neck and keep walking, or, you know, whatever. So you have the need, you have the vehicle, which is, let's go with, like, how do you like to be acknowledged?
For me?
Yeah, like if you said for cooking?
Yeah, just, you know, being a woman, we do a lot. So we cook, we clean, we do so many, like, errands. So just everything that we do. I mean, it's so much stuff that we do normally that people just think, you know, it's just automatic.
Okay. So just for example, the need is being met as significance, right? The vehicle is, you said, cooking, cleaning, right? Now, how would you like to be acknowledged? Did you want someone to say something? Do you want them to do something?
I'm more of an action.
Okay. So, which is?
Hey, if I'm doing it, instead of you doing it, hey, sit down, let me finish. Or something like that, you know. Or I noticed that you didn't get to this today, let me take care of this for you. Okay. Yeah. Just to make that.
So when you say acknowledgement, you mean do it for me sometimes. Step in and do it for me sometimes.
Right.
See, because for most men, when you say, oh, acknowledgement, you say, okay, well, thank you for cooking.
No. For me, I'm not speaking for everybody else.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so you're making my point.
Right.
So what happens is people will say stuff like, well, why do all black men want light-skinned women. It's not true.
Right.
See, some of this stuff that we're saying about men and we're saying about women, we need to stop and ask,
Right.
like, and honestly, is that true?
Right.
Because if you look around, all the brothers you see are with light-skinned women.
Not all.
All the brothers you see are with white women. Are all the brothers you see with women of other races?
Not all.
See, that's the thing we have to be careful about. Overgeneralizing, yeah, because we all generalize, but when you overgeneralize, that's when you're stereotyping. But the other thing you're doing as well is you're also putting that energy out there. People have to understand your thoughts do have power. What you really believe will come to pass.
Right.
It will. If you walk into a room and you see a brother sitting away, you say, oh yeah, he's a nice looking dude. He's a nice looking dude. Oh, he just smiled at me. I bet he got a woman at home.
Oh, he must have. Well, men say that too about women too.
Right. Everybody is guilty of it.
Right.
But it's like you put that energy out there and then you go and think, oh, I'm gonna find me a man.
Right.
I'm gonna find me a good man. Well, how's that possible? How does that work?
Right.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I know I did. It was a conversation based on dating, men, women, love, relationships, communication. We plan on doing this on a regular basis, so please stay in contact with us. We hope to continue doing this on an ongoing basis, really giving you a better approach, some ideas on approaching dating in a whole new way. So stick around, keep coming around. My name is Derryll, and I'm out.